me no interview bia no ba ha ye ka ho sem sa na otwe no Ghana ha me no interview bia no na otwe no and a radio station so ka ho asem
I wish that na mo twitwa no say no headline we
your last interview yeah I yenye bi ma fe no oboy I think the following day or two no na papers from page ni na let them omo me credit the my me dey na fa no ho omo man fa my so ye na musa but na microphone is you anyway we say branding radio
yeah branding
and one is supposed you
oh da ya
enti omo ye na no me hwia enyi akra every no code here set bibia boko there
ami adom bibia ye boko na de enti a ene mandile 1 hour no eto da bia mo advertise time na e flyer no so ba e beba na munwie ready na ma better say enti no so me bre pa say
I see
me frefum ne ba direct
na me monitor
ba akra fam na jono na dia no pa sumi san ko ba bi enti na I have to be agreement da hon enti kanye no anka me ma enti we say me do ho kakra na farm
and nana nyade but you say the film mame me ko ba bi na me ni obi din command us kwasi na abanya bai mo papa o ye modan and am say ye ja no hwan what's na nye general and I'm the general no on the president nana enti obi a wo mu say go do watching the team no there bi be na ba any general mosquito and na you because general is papa anytime be am one not here enti akra yes what you want to preko be say ja no enti ye be so mo da
mo nyanya green paper no if you want to ban yellow
and the yellow paper green people dey be ma ha so far green people no send na two way Nancy so na two way see green people dey nya bi the go near mama yellow people dey yellow people yellow people dey just here to kwan
yo mate
akra ye be come kakra you started from the MMDC's appointment me kai say obaye na mosimugo ahoboaso a mo ye interviews na de ade so far I find no modru because man release some regions akam akakakra akam I find no modru na da ben na yakam no so ba
yo me da say achi atiefo na o ka say mo release ya obi be na dwen say ye na ye point DC for
okay
present ya release bi
okay
na akabi
okay
ye ndie pa na o musuma say ye medi na ye into present for because to me no kutano say ono na nominate DC for eno nti ono so oye nyina ye pani na ono so ohwe mu na opa oye ba sonko se sa ni panson yi momo amena muntu me for kwan me fa so appointed DC for
okay
eno ho adwuma ne akoye
ya
na ya awie e de ni nyina akoma no enti sa brede se afutu onye ni nyina na yefa bi wo ha na ya reject bi wo ha na yafa eno nti ye nyina ye hwa ni mu se afutu no emu de ohin na ode aye adwuma emu de ohin na omfanya adwuma na enti eho ne yewo oman no mobia dia dance say yewo 261 districts and municipalities
okay
nunti ya ye 258
my 258 there's a car 3
no aya dia yen ya sheda atwen asan
okay
say ye hwehwe ne ma bi mu
okay
nti 258 no de ya wie asensan report no nyina de akoma mampani nti emu na wadika na so bi na ebisuaka and nti ho ne was abre.
I see. But so far, Niamwa announced an endorsement, say because last said 2-3 days ago, in your report from Asin Fusu, say one nominee be on company body, one Charlotte Boache, if Mekani Dina, out of 22 votes on your 5. So far, reporter Manya encouraged in terms of company, mobile Juma company, and your foot to them, the command so befano, finalist in the bar endorsement,
so far the we sa asin central the free mo.
Yes.
Obia ni ho awa feel.
Okay.
Nti we so far no ho kwan ya anya ho report. Na majority of the one endorse no nyina ye 100%. Nti akade akabat Osha regions no ye dunsia and president ye release ebi and koka miensa.
Okay.
President say wa release du miensa and koka miensa no kind there 1 2 3 there obekase wo ene akaka krem ba no ne regions akese
no
regions akese miensa aboa ososo na ne moma so nti aka Ashanti, Eastern and Greater Accra sa regions miensa na ewo final report nti ehwe ni mu say president ubehwehwem say said the see ahihye nema no obi a cheke obi enti de ya wie no kra no megiri say president so be fa akire a cheke adwuma no ahwe say eno nso ekoyia ansana ono nso de ni stamp wasi so enti am say ho ne wo sabre.
Okay, were you satisfied with the Juma region here, you know, in a sense obi o house obe call vetting it be sure so kwasi bo ache we dey see any modada o na ata host general no say Juma no metimi ayo metimi nyu kwasi ko but emna na the final 3 no na nipa na nkwanko piem na kwa bibia e honom to the extent that I know say petitions outdoor and I'm receiving such cases no send am handle na bio there are some some chiefs oko ayinu bia yes oh you per indigene obi okra me de me ba but I know say the day be out kind Demetrim say Juma de ye share competence and character say issues no fan say
yo mendasi on say President Mahama Bayino o he said there o security ministry no
yes
e share local government no so or pay inclusiveness at the base say we create local government ya what chieftaincy ministry mu e dey abeka ho na wa koyi religious affairs so free say culture mu
e
dey abeka ho international say o pese ehemfo sorry for any local government for they saying local structures assemblies near yin o mu yitimi ya adwuma bom o mu so adwene bom yitimi eye nti yeso ye hyase no ye conscious of sa intention of the president and the adwuma nti no ye nyi obi amfiri yetie obi a no asem a ebeye input into that decision making. By taking decision, no, we hold ourselves responsible for decision you take.
Okay.
Nti I don't know. I'm saying shasia na ye nyina ye betiasia na tiefo be appreciate.
Okay.
President Efrayen and na oni ni minister eko di wo mutri eko sign ho. And na omo Efrayen ni panson.
Okay.
Say pese of the year committee na yetimi ko sasa adwene na yeboa no na ye de identify nipa e de wo mo ye DC a ebeboa na o he nipa nson no a wo mo yi ye no a me say president dwene ho obi a wo de nti a o de no be bata ho
okay
o sha MP fo wom Council of State ni wom, former ministers of local government enso wom, na pani nipa a wɔn so free ne office hɔ saa tamu yi a wɔn yɛ in charge of governance wɔn so wom. Ti o hwɛ a Petition avoka ɔyɛ until say Oja Yabafie no one of the 2 longest serving members of parliament here, Ghana, Anya Womo. And unti ono so the regional minister da. Na okan committee no. Obeka say President Mahama first time no cry no kan anyansa for me and son 3 wise men back when ni ET mensa ni ono Kletu Saboka. Nti no kan and Yenuyamba Valerie Sawyer. And also, and ye in charge of governance and their or president office.
Okay.
And unti also he no ekan ho. And say ye Honorable Bejra. Also ye MP. Also a chair of parliament. I'm saying 5-time or so. Also sign ye the caucus leader for voter MPs at the Nokan home. And now saying ye Honorable Namumo never a minister of her gender.
Okay.
Near ye so. Or non so what did this no be that?
I see.
I say I Nalag General Secretary so that. And now also Nalag no local government. The assemblies nyina yekua ewo Ghana no waye hu wamunkambo munku waye mu general secretary danti ono so nim decentralization in and out ya de no kan ho ana afei yayi kantinka Collins Dauda sa tamui ono na the longest serving member of parliament ono so aye minister for local government da
experience no
ti ono so wo experience and ya de ono so kan ho and afi me general secretary a ono so waye MP da aye minister da ya de ne ono na ye general secretary or chief executive for her party no so ono so e kan ho and na me edemida no as the chairman of the committee. And unti sa nipai o hwe sa group no a obia ni ho a usisi no a eyeye obia so ni ho a obeteki decision bia a enye based on rationality. So enya nipa obia be arrive at a decision. He say why rational analysis ya na ko conclude baby entino enyina so first class debaters obi a che na dwen say me susu say we ni na we susu say we ni so obi a ni ho a o mre say etimi ebetwa fa ne so ena ya kan bom ena obi a so nipa nson no emu nsia obi a wo parliamentary experience.
I see.
Me ma di 12 years for parliament. And
apart from Valerie, right?
Apart from Valerie,
yes.
But also the experience and in governance. And you know, first class lawyer, that is the group where you got trans. I been say, ye be ye a juma a beboa na to fapim papa diama President Mahama Nabaino. If we say dia bia be ebebua na efiri ne hini enti aban bia be gina efiri grassroots.
I see.
Enti say etimi toto grassroots ho nsem na egina ne nan so a egiri say aban no betimi agina ne nan so enna ya nye na confusion si e wo fom ho a eno na be affect aban no enti say ye be kan okre ama ye nyame ene ye man na yede perpere aye sa adwuma no na me kan ye conscious so say obi a ebia onya o ma me yi a obekwa akobro Aseidu no ono na ede nsa no hye ne nsa ono na
obenum sana Aseidu no
now the nsa no agya no say obi fufuro bepensa no a ono na yi ma no no atwere na de ade nti oni adaja ode beboro obura asembeba so ndonya but enti ye point this year they beba if from ho enti ye involve from ho no first
okay
nem famra so and na yeso ye conscious so say decentralization and crossing amamuo no eye the best system because no netimi eje ododo no nyina dwene na etimi kwa amamuo no but e wo danger wom danger ni say who decentralize na wantimi anye monitoring any coordination anaki ne besi so obi abe de ope enti who decentralize no let's say bibi so wo ho a edi akira ahwe say obi a ne tumi a wo de amano no or the said to me no be adwuma woni kwan so and ntia say sa appointment no ye be decentralize obi a view bebam but ye sign e hihye checks and balances bia emma obi a mfa ne pair enye oman no enkan konti emfa nkonkoye adwuma wo no say or satisfy or no ni personal bibi na kofa asema abreye nyina enunti yema general secretary chirelete ekoma all the constituencies say ya bie kwan enunti obia wa nkasa ukari wo ho hwe say udidi isi no bia ebe yie no na chire application na fabra abeka se me asumasi mpesem DDC enti yan establish limit bia se ana ya nchire mu se nipa asumasi na o apply ya eyi na we ni amakwan se on apply
educational background
party ni bia wa kari ho ahwe
so obetimi
DDC Fadimbra. Na nkwa yese na mpese me ye bi na yese ya ma me kwan no ne ma nti ye receive applications no.
Okay.
Nti ba bi wo ho bebre 24 15 30 ni nyina ase monyemra. Nti o moje ye no. Ene yesan ka se region fo mo na mo hwe region no so. Nti montu nkonwa na monhwe sa applications ye beba no. Na monsone so 90.5 na munyi mumiensa pe emfamra national enti kwanya mbefa so aso so no yeye mamu bi
okay
mo monsone so na eho asemba mo na mo be ya no anema o mo so sone so ade miensa ebae na me ka say decentralization I say monitoring and coordination bamu no yehu say what the process free from sa ba na enam structures no so ba ya na ye wo opportunity bi wo ho na temptation bi wo ho a obi betimi abuse ne power wo de amano no de akoye bibi fofora e be satisfy or no ankasa and not any other person and not the collective ebi ne say constituency ho ebi a ayi no betimi aba collect the by region region for no be betimi ahwe say me kura mfie na eda ni mesa pese megina as regional secretary ana regional treasurer na organizer na chairman enti delegacy so ya omufiri yiho omufiri constituencies no enti se me yebrebre enya me nipa mane kohye ho se disia se dru ha obebo ame amanya nipa ombeba beto abama me ebisu timi ye adwen se abato etwa mu a ye to ma me ba be ye regional secretary na regional chairman na regional organizer no
yes
asuma sini bo ame na asuma sini obintin na tuti ame enti se ne ono be pe bibia ebia me monu buga So what I say?
I see.
Near you free mo. Ebisu or ha.
Ringing a party baba come on drinks I know.
Yes, the atlas ya journey who say those are the loopholes.
Okay.
Loopholes a man for bet me and fast will abuse power. Yet they are called ground hold through decentralization.
Okay.
Ebisu ya won't say ya manifesto commitment. Say ye be say ma be ebia wanted the kra ebetimi aba appointees no.
Okay.
Inti ye hey oba ba kun ya wa apply ya monu bugani yi no free mu na na ye de no ka ho na ko duru ha o mbeka se amema mienu oba da mu nti ene he mfa mama no nti eno so timi ye motivation se ne oba bi o mu a kwan ye be fa so awo no konsa ama na free mu se de be ya edin ye be bankran no na oba so nka ho no eno so there are all these temptations here ya na e wo from ho ena nti e trans in ye say kwan be ne e be fa so aye betimi I reduce these temptations to the barest minimum. And now say obi a obe na dwen so ko use saa de we e de aye appointment na abuse ne power no. Then wo ha e de be check no.
Okay.
Enti ensa kan tretre no nyina no. Ene esan ka say ya bie kwan say obi a ya boatia no ya yi na free shortlist no mo a one pene so ono carry ne ho hu say asisi no o de petition ba ni asom obi de petition ba nti e ma kwan be say na otwe be miensa
wow
and they receive sa petitions ni nyina and they sort no into regions
okay
nti e dru region we so a na afre region no mpanimfo ne akase adwuma moye no nipa sumasini obenten akase mosisi no nti momra ne ni honkomo na region for number mo ba kwanya mo fa so ye mo interviews ma we no mo pie ye no se scores bi na mo de ye ya mo fa raw scores no mra na ye ne mo nyina anko true wow de hunu se nipa no mu yi na firi mu eda ne kwa mu ana se na ne kwa mu enti ye saa ne manu nyina enti ba bi wo ha obeka na se bia petition na ntimi ama e friend no telephone so
okay
na region for no te ho no o chire mu no so ya bisa no de enti na susu se ya sisiu so enti ye chekia de na sem ewo mu no ni aso petition no
okay
ye so mu a de ne se miensa no de ya soma ye mpanimfo a mo hwe region no so ma yen ena wo makoye adwuma ayi wo mo de aba enti ukoyi obi free mu a na akoye se ko atia original for
okay
enti ase nam dodo nsan kwai enti de mu yi no free mu a wanti ase no ye nyi mu de miensan bia free mu ya de no beka ho
na num
na yi nyina
okay
the bigger the merrier you bet me ahwe you know nti ubehwa after petitions no ba bi wo ho omo de nipa omo ba interview ebi a na ye 4 ebi a na ye 6 as no ma ye nya em say 7 or so
7 wow
wo mu nyina ye allow omo because ya review ebi num petition hunu say
omo genuine consent
omo genuine consent ti omo fa omo mra ana ya de nti wo kekambo mu ana che say 261 times 3 and basic you know nti petitioners so they can ho a as I say nipa interview omo kobe the say 700
wow
I interview omo in that short time nti sorry anopa ko siase 9 o'clock ito da bia yetimi pon anajo 8 ana 7 ana 6 ana yato yadwene mu to any other business ya ewo yakwa obi aja adwuma bia ho yegu ho say ye focus on sade we say na nyamboa na etimi boa present mahama no timi enya ne MCs nyina in place within the 120 days. No. And also a bit my achievement.
Okay.
Enti ene de ye saa de no. Enti ye wenum nyina wie nche se report no nso no ebia nipa miensan region no select wom de ho narration attach say nipa number 1 say ni ene koma no number 2 say ni ne koma ntia no so ye full report ene de no to ho eno ye report number 1 every party structure no mo be through national ene sign a contract professional pollsters and I'm also call filled in all the 261
districts and municipalities.
So almost opinion polls.
Wow.
Na woman rate sa nipa miensa no. In order of merit according to popularity.
Okay.
And nti woman so samples be say according to posters no. District ya woman Susano, interview nipa 6,000. District Akasiano 8,000. And yes, survey no. Enti ebi by telephone. Woman generate telephone numbers no. Randomly. Enti wo ha ni afro. Ya bisaw. Say when I also say ODDC aye na waka wadwene na record na ye wo house say ebi a odi miensan iko na say obi bo buga ena oyi miensan no nko akoe na nipa foforo bi wo ha ono fata mo say yaji na tum say obeye DC no a kwan be na e be fa so ahunu.
Okay. And also question kesi pa na say mobisa
stress no ani wo mo discuss here na mo say wo mo kwan ya mo be fa so enti wo mo de answer ba akoto aka ho say miensan ya wo si ye wabubo mo din mempe mu bia
okay
enti wa ye no kasa no ye bisa say we ni emu ben na ope a susu so ye DC abeboa
okay
o kari wo ma obetuma kase da bi o miensan nyina obi aye DC a omo emmoa na mmom asumasi na meminim se oye DC na ebeboa enti omo so o kan answer we nim we kan answer we nim unim dia we abo report no bae no na constituencies say between 10 and 15 or so someone else no eno na wini
aja tre no wachiri
wow ejra say no bi bobuga o kwa so ba bi ya pia de o fata no ato nchen
kra
ena ede miensan bi eko so enti someone else no ba bi wo ho a onya bese 60%
wow
endorsement na 3 no ebianya 11 bianya 14 bianya 6 so
wow
enti ebasa ye frɛ ye tracy someone else no ya invite na in many cases no oye nipa wa apply a ya bonu buga say ya failing no original level but no one actually na population na nkasa fe say ono na ye ya frɛ na ka ho say brabe participate na be compete with the others ko ye frɛ obeka ho ye nyi obi amfiri mu say nka wo na otoso 3 na ye yi obi foforo abehye ho nti brabe ka ho for no ye be interview mu nyina bom enunti eno boa ye mi ehu say baabi a yabo nipa bi buga on fairly no yetimi anya kwanya bi ama wo mo asan abeka ho enunti say o te say baabi kakra bi a wo ka say obi wo ho de na wonka ho kra na obi de no free baabi no de no be shame ni ade sade that is where those things
I see. Eti omo mutie ne ebia mo amo district and municipality bibia sisa no. Emu nkyeremu nie.
Emu nkyeremu no.
I see.
and I need an answer your home records.
Okay.
Okay. BBI your home
records.
Enti no posters there no opinion posters there no are professional posters omo there.
Okay.
And na yes sign far and I before. So almost unkoye security background checks
of those individuals now.
Those individuals.
Okay.
Now also sign far popularity tests no and sign home. Na eno so you bet me the cross check professional posters no so almost so reason so am de bre na obi ankofa so kwa medane a chinchina. So enti eno so ebai. Let's say ansana yenso committee no yaka say report. We want to see the faces behind the reports. And unti nipa miensa no ne 99 no ayi wo mo no. Ya pese wo mo ba ne test wo mo pound for pound. Ne hunu say or what it takes to be DC or DC. And na ye interview, face-to-face interviews, Into the results of the face-to-face interviews, a can one. Now we report to be 9. And now you put 2 together. Obi beti me imagine say or no, and na president ya no. Na ye face-to-face interview no so. The and say our inputs be from Nananum traditional authorities in Fubinum to me by a whole now more Abeka or more before the vetting.
Okay.
Now, or the Canasem, opinion leader be free any of those areas, Becanasem, Neacharato. Now, the key opinion leaders in those districts are members of parliament. Almost a big opinion leaders.
Yeah.
And now also experience about what happens there.
Okay.
But I also know also there's a danger of personal interest. So ebata ho.
If MP the
yes.
Okay.
Because the MP no ebedi nokre de amaya onim fom ho eche nipa bebre.
Yeah.
Na ordinary eba the man and also you taking off a pinch of salt and they say the personal interest so you at stake.
Okay.
Because MPBA be say obi me contest no. So enti and also danger wo ho say so obi wo ho a MP no suro no say o contest ya obetimi abetu no da achi a ono so unrecommended no say yemfa no mra enti and also, take MPs no so views. There was that also at the back of our minds. There was also personal interest. Eka Inti nye de ombe kanu nyina na ye krojin. Ese etimi fa chire check hunu say de ya ba be boni din no. Ana de ye money din no. Is it because say MP no ni self protection tin no ye ana bibi tin no ya. And also ni ho. Ye nyina de obi a pese ye protect seats no ba kwan a obefa so awini seat no ene se obeye wadwuma yie
okay
enye no ne se ube remove competition afri ho remove competition no nyina afri ho wankasa kura wo nya adwuma no yie
yeah
enti within the party wanya competition MPP ni beba betu
okay
so enti better say at times no oye hard on training grounds e wa party no na ye utumu a battlefield the only MPP for kushia no be easier at the amount.
Okay.
And unti ye tie MP for no nyina na ye ne MP for no di kan so hia e na ye kan kire wo mo se ye besre wo mo a ye ne ye wo committee so yi ye di MP no bida enti ye nim atete e wo mo se MP ni DC entam enwa wo mo betimi akwa ma MPP for abefa seat no. And unti pese MP betra parliament na chinyo na dabia no odwena akire ye medeni DC for ye medeni DC MP be free hono na DC no na mo akire MP we ti say me na me ye we mo MP onye hwe no nema no ye per se ye limited that one as much as possible. And until ye beti MP for no, but MPs yesremo e form hono a wo mo prepare wo mo gigi applications ye interviews wo form hono e ko gina ho nka se me choice ni adintra because from experience no say nipa 30 na apply na MP no ko gina mu say we na me no betimi aye adwuma me choice ni a ubenya the best case scenario ubenya than 4 back but 29 enemies. As I say, every this no appointment no na wa shase enya problems. Inti emfa wa no enkomu. Yen mpanimfo won kran ha. Be kan wasem kire yen. Be kire ye de onimfa constituency no ho. Eni nipa ye bobo omudin no.
Yeah.
Na yen hunu say weni nti e de ko ha e be ye. Na yen so yen assessing hunu say wasema o kan no wonyina so. So, enunti ye peke wobusu views behind the scenes. MPs no.
Okay.
But a part of the material ye jina so the ye final interview so.
Okay.
Enti ya ye we nyina wie no ne be trans ye final interview. Final interview no so ne process ne say wa be wura ye dam ho a ye interview no. Say round table kasi say ya. Obia te ne baabi at a distance ya me hu we de o twere ono so hu de me twere we so hu de we twere ntini pass every no nyina na etwa hia wo adenum na interview we no aba betra yanim nti ebia first 3 minutes national chairman ona obebisa question o question a obisa no area ha na obe focus ebia o test nipa no ni leadership. So bit my leader na untiminya leader. Na second one ebi agenda secretary. Ono so teste nipa no ni party sem ana say you know ni nimdie ewo local government na problem solving mu na obi so abisa ni nimdie ewo assembly adwuma mu na ebi so abisa ne nimde ewo party no ne manifesto a o this no kodi animu ama ya implement wo district kono se wunim de wo mu a eja se adwuma akwakoye no kra wunim adwuma akwakoye nti anunum nyina ya test nti we ma max na we ma max na we ma max na we ma max enu nti no ye bewie no na ya gada score sheets no nyina ede ama secretary no na obobo of first score sheet we ya no abobo candidate 1 nipa suma si man say we man say sa score sheets no kra na entwe edin to so
I see
and sign a signature to so ye the code and na ye the identifier committee for no kwan ni who represent ebia XYZ and CPU and we enunti no etofom ba bia obi afa ohunu se asuma sima we max say ya na we say ya na we say ana ya de enti ye tale ni nyina wie ewo ya nim ha ye wie district ba ko de ani atale ni ahunu se we na top interview we na to sumienu we na to sumiensa ni a friend next district na omuso aba ni a go through the same thing
process
enunti no ye nya interview no mie ya ye ne ati ho no obi antimi hu emprejaje se asumasi ne de manana obente ne de manana sese nti ya wie no eche se ye nso ye interview results wo ho ena ayi posters no so wo mo so de wo mo hu ye ena before the wo hu ye ena region for no so recommendation eba and so say net ye nti wo come yensa 9 ibo mu a
0.5
ye tie bia wo be hu se de wadi nkunim ewo mu no eche se ono na wadi nkunim se ye de ne din koma president se on hwet na
etu na je se favoritism bi anim process how they are to no because Greater Accra you say list be kwa bonten Emma be crack catch say MPs no na ahia and na oma pencil down crofo say we no mo pese omo betimi no mo ye adwuma and na omo de ama monti list me be kind about we didn't pay attention to that list because you say okay.
It can be one of three things.
Okay.
Ebia MP na ya adwuma no yie ahwe fom ha wo hunu say ye de asuma si ya ebeboa ena odi aba ena system no a ya run no abe throw up the same person. Enti ebe throw no up a enya say yen se be impredia so manu osum no ye se be kwadontofu obi na yete ho na obi no, we don't do that.
I see.
But in many cases, some of the choices of the MPs coincides with the final outcome.
No.
Yeah. But also, let's just say there's likely to be peace there.
Okay.
Because report back on free regional structures no mwamba say I indicate you be na popularity test ya indicate no na background checks criminality ni adi nyina indicate no na ebia MP no so ono so aka ne dia eno no nyina coincide dia let's just say unim say sanipa no imagine the chances say obeko true no ye high and beyond that one so no asundwe beba ho in running the district.
Okay eti na chese ne yete no but your time didn't me pese me do from the NDC ani enim fritite more co elections are say chairman general na for the chairman general secretary and nko na ye campaign ye toma no a me so na me call for another year ye toma me wi ani nyina be form ye even say team national executive for region or what have you but ade bi aba say me call for a certain position na my team say person me chairman and me pen obe me secretary pen obe organizer ama sad ye no dey enchichem bebere aba. Eti there's a common language mintimi no nyadwuma I koso grassroots wonom a kwa be na betimi afa so ayi sade we e the free party monetary because o can be say party base no agitated na say womo ye a very dangerous for party no for the next elections ti kwa be na as a party no or national chairman no be fa so asade no mo be ye free mo party member say da be obi maji fia no mo a ohun ni say ni nua no ne wo party bakum no one say an opponent chairman
mate
in a minute you had here
mate now one say essentially no small shades of opinions are no useful for multi-party democracy.
Okay
a go beyond a certain point here now be a destructive force and democracy enye say ubetimi arane society a eye bibia ye conformity say bibia obia ne obia adwene ye pe there be democracy encourage say differences in opinion because it been said say sparks of truth emanate from clashes of opinion into opinion bia ebe paja obia ben raise various aspects coming arguing from different angles no say tie omu nyina the outcome no decision be free mu aba no ya na ye more qualitative than say ba kun beka say yes or no na kanti obia follow in line to say command structure and no a certain level of disagreements no useful for the proper functioning of democracy. And enye too much is just a bro a certain level. And now any intention say ye na party num akoye organization bia ye bibia conformity say we can't back one no. There must be room for exchanges of opinion. And OTA me general secretary say ya yetimi hia wo assemble ko the way the intensity of debate ayebeye obia be raise various sides eventually we agree on the way forward.
Okay.
Near decision bia ebe PM sa abano. Naturally say ya test it with fire. Now unim say the difference between iron ore and steel is fire. He suggesting seba na yang try those suggestions in the fairness is yentimi nya refine decision. Okay. Sa man the shades of opinion okay. They will continue existing. Okay. This be our party no ye akaronkono party no bia nipa kakra binti or can be na large organization like NDC there.
BBC beba.
Useful.
All right.
But ye manage say go out of hand.
I love Radio Go 90.5.
Okay, 90.5 FM Suni National Chairman Edema NDC Honorable Johnson Aseidu Nketsia and Ameneno Edin Komo enche ye be sorry. But akra yen hwe me issues ba community bi. Yen hwe CJ removal no. Ene court ko asetena omo ede asebna kwa share nyame adama on the seat next month. Ebinimo face now. Senior Akufo-Addo ebebu o mine o de patapa bibia o jebo de mono monso mo ba yi sa na mpese mo ya CJ o te ho no mo mo pese mo fa kono bi so etu no na waban a mo de abai mo ne mo pe no na mo pese mo nye ya hwe petition akọ ene na mo mapani etu ne ensem ankrofo ka o egna na ka fa ho
se court no nyina ye na adwuma se de democracy tia den na Akufo-Addo timi de patapa be bu man no enti obi betimi de patapa abu man no I just say your problem or court
0.5.
I see because court no the main purpose is to protect citizens from the abuse of power of government here. Ode wai utumi ahye nsa enunti de ode tumi na ahye nsa no so nya kokoduro bi e de patapa eye adwuma no a na che se court no nya na adwuma yie because the court no nya na adwuma yie a restraining executives from abuse of power.
Okay.
Enti de mo kan no ankasa kire say then there is a problem with the court system I say you fix it. Enti se problem no wo ho so na eno so am fix ya. And then I say you can't correct
the wrong.
The higher wrong. So, and so be a who say, Sinto or court no ho, nor the petition ambassador. Young family fine so. And ya, me did say, me who anything wrong with it, and I won't accuse President Mahama for anything. I will encourage him say, Yema processes on Yajuma. Because a yina no, they say, petitioners see asemia womo de abai enya womo nko a opinion polls akoso ma nepad nom ne ayinfo nyina ye reports de aba abekire se Ghanaians womo gidie wo ye court system no mu ahwan asan na chipa enti so obi bedi akonwa na se opese Ghanaians womo gidie wo court system no ekonanimu a anamombe ne sese wotu a it may restore sagidie no reports no bi so kire se electoral commission oti omaimu ono nso amanfo gidie wo na adwuma yemu akofom practically many of the institutions scientific opinion polls actually say there is something wrong until bekaya the last rally no you know make I say we need the ebe win na ye win the biggest challenge ebe face yen obia economy no na ye ka ho ase
Yes.
na me misu say in resetting the institutions I want my no and no be bigger challenge than even the economy.
The economy no.
Because democracy is government by institutions.
Okay.
Inti so bitimi corrupt two institutions no. Na ema no kwaima otimi a rule in a dictatorial way to said the Akufo-Addo rule no.
Yeah.
If you want to build them back, said the Bayer institutions no, a very restraining the exercise of power in the system. it will take some hard decisions. And you know, one of the challenges.
Okay.
And now institutions is so yenim say a week, you know, and the man executives no more exercise or more power in capricious manner, more dilute or minor japade. Say institutions no ye jumanka lutu timinko so. Indeed, the same institutions are there in the same shape and form. Now say what they no be ye ora. No what me recover all the loot. How are you going to do that?
I see. With
the institutions no be no or more facilitating the looting in the first place. Indeed, so Bia who said there's something wrong in some of the institutions. Now you use constitutional process to reset those institutions. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I see. Mama Shadi, are you not worried, sir? The content of the petition, it got to a point now, a leaky, to the extent that I think, good evening, Ghana. I am say, Akwai.
Maybe to me who say a leaky.
Now, or then no one know yet near ma because
I didn't just say no, 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 bonity more fabricated. I didn't know the number because until say contents no EBP from official source.
Okay.
How they be compared there now obi a pedal. No one who say he was peddling the same thing. No? And now the be who say leaky. Now say me hey me ko fabricate bibi anam the better radio gold say petition on the contents in here. How would you cross check say and only the ever system no yet at the crown na enya at the crow. NTS at now there me need say content be a leaky. Because the BIM pain. Yesterday I've contributed a team now at the report no buy.
Yes.
The only copy yeah, my just 3 copies or so. At the almost authenticated finally revised one. And Kwana na me kipo.
I see.
And so no. Delegate me any such light to me serializing name a bit said ye. Omukuta document no omo year free document no ma. Nsama omo kanu nya nokre. Enti bi o ha audit siu. Amu akoka se enya nokre na we na ye nokre.
Now,
why
not smart out the
so even though we kept the copy, no, you live by taking lessons from Nemabia recommendations now. A woman,
okay,
any idea, Juma, and a native member power. But so my home quite echo, they say no abontian.
Yes.
Nka semwe be piepie mu ne abufu ebeba nom ne nema muntimi nka mbom kura se mo ye mo de ye adwuma ama adruba bia so ntia futu bi wo ha ye no kokoa mu bi wo ho so a ye na bonte
I see.
enu nti no as we sit here there mimi ntimi nyina ho nka se mahu bibi wo good evening Ghana nti enu na ye the real content no when officially we've been told say content no.
But CJ, the conduct throughout the process, who is saying, Mameno, Torkono?
Me de Abrewa Obewu and who?
Abrewa and who?
Wow, Bequaco Cassi, Unanay, Uana Ubewi, Ubedi Kanajan.
Wow.
And unti Asem we ye walk out. Men pese, Medima no bebe home. My court no can asem. Say we conduct, say we conduct it say. Wano wa umfan kwatia suja ha. Ma court na meka asem ni na efa metu ja say de ya hunu munie. What is that asem we buy maka ho asem.
Dabi.
Enka ho asem.
So de ya no akota no aboma ho.
Beginning no a yanya mai no na me kan say. Here say you reset a judiciary.
Okay.
Here say you reset electoral commission.
Okay.
Here say you reset they say auditor general. Honomne in Bobo, but I know na make kambo say we need institutional reset.
And you still stand by some.
I still stand by those
electoral commission.
But
electoral commission.
Now when the coffee say we buy, and never na me coffee buy.
One not buy.
Na ma adesan da ben na nkwanta yira say ade ya win ya wi nti electoral commission wa be dane so abofo
e di commissioner no onko
me de top ho nyina nye ba na maka bie mu say sa galamsey nsensem ni ade a ekoso
yes
weak institutions and create ade no
weak institutions
yes
and create that galamsey
yes because Ghana Nkwani discover gold. South Africa for starting a 2 gold more than 200 years in what Galamsey has in South Africa. So, and no natural resource be an exploitation no. Country a ube hunu ye abaya said the say obe establish strong institutions here. Womobe allocate rights for exploitation. Ebe ye beneficial to the country. Na mode and method of exploitation no so be sustainable. Na proceeds ya ebe accrue no so no. Abai no be di achire. Na yatimi harvest their build the country no. That is how come oil rich countries Dubai no mni ade ade nyina wo mo akọ wo mo anim. So the one timi anya no yie no. Na wa be dan say South Sudan ana say DR Congo. DR Congo resources so ehye from hono etimi hwe Africa nyina am ye dane say America.
I see.
And so no because of weak institutions, weak governance no na ade no ene people who want to come and exploit it no wo mo ankasa efa achire eko instigate conflict said e be ya anyway kon dia na che say e benya kwan exploit it enti ade a ye da no in the fight against galamsey ni cause pa ne weak institutions. Koyewo natural resource institutions here. Ya provided for in the constitution. Woman regulating, woman say regulating the rights and allocated the rights of exploitation. Now who exploited so I be say ebe fane kwai so sustainably. Ni yatimia extract natural resources no with minimum damage to our ecosystem. Enti fisheries resources. So while regulating year, unya overfishing, the same problem galamsey create ebe create. Oil. So while regulating year, South Sudan and Nigeria for the year create problem. Bisa say, how come say Nigeria one more oil crana ne do ya in Libya, na Libya for the way we used to build it one more country. No. So timber resources, the same thing. And to be bibia nyame de be no. So ultimately put in regulatory structures here.
Where did you watch it?
Na koko say each one for himself. Ubia me among for beba be exploit anyhow. Ubia exploit anye ni krum ni ha obeye no said the open no ase no basa no disca na kotra ni krum no odi. Na wo yade no how wo ha. Unum hunsu no.
Your time na so. But na obi kura tia me na say wadan for akwa ma auditor general that's what you. But then you make wadan for because only the case no.
Onye madam for no dey nya me na.
Ebi ni money in case no. Tinam so wadan. Na that mean I said chairman Sabonsu. Emma analysis be chire mu ni entia. Emre bi party no mo ye changes of parliament. Ebra mo reshuffle. The current education minister and the current interior minister. I call it the oyene ba ye tweka. And according to I say chairman Sabonsu no. Was that changes na mo ye you know. Tactical changes na mo ye you know. And the problem every MPP party no out of election 2024. Akra wo je home pentere ko kroma. In a minute. Sasa no what you say?
Oh, me fan say I don't do wrong things knowingly. Obi anya perfect. But there me say in my position as a national chairman and general secretary of a party no. Yeah, no me believe we strongly say I'm not pursuing any personal agenda, but I'm doing what will carry the interest of the party forward. And until say a dissatisfied will be a crying a member about training and any outcomes. If you say we team coach ya now kushia another team na mo be bobo now nim say wo front line no buga for nkwa
yeah
now wo excellent dribblers ya won control omo into the fray na emubu omo na mo wontimi call next match eno nti na coach fo wo ho wo hwe ade na we say na TNT ene match ide we nom na say ide animu na coach change obi say o metra bench na obi nkota na che say ne tamfo ne wo mo aka no that is not the case and na ade a abaya yetimi wini elections your opponents na nkasa no say na omo huru yen pa na they were pushing say
no me agenda serious agenda give that decision abotiki
ba say kokoamu no na wo musu say ade no say ya so enunti some of them were trying to instigate woman ya affected the class say be rise against you no nyina but we remain focused say say captain team captain ena dano ne ball ankoyie ena wakotena bench ya win match no say captain no ne be lift cap no ene say position si ba ye ya nyi obi atutwene obi anya bi
yes
so enti it tells you say courage with which to take decisions, a part of leadership.
Okay.
And to know who should play what role at any time, and also at any point in time,
Okay.
and also very important. Now, only courage, I'll be taking decisions here. Unim say, ube implementing decisions here. Unim say, a beboa for the collective good. You have no place in leadership.
Okay. Okay. Team men are supporting.
Boxing, I'm supporting.
Boxing.
When you said that, I can say football, no.
Yes.
Baako for ubetimi aboboro baako for koje bribe e be se munyina bra wa bra nyina wa bra so na wa boxer wa koje bribe say ye munu mu na pantam ntino we de o koje bribe wa na bebo ntino
Anti-boxing.
yes and no a fixing responsibility on wow be wrong no we mistake ya na suffer so and then I me support boxing
The team there football there.
team dey obi be fight back for fight koje bribe mu nyina wo be bo nyame ani and so
Ekosiaga. Agra nyamisha.
Yo me da.
Don't think na mind. That's be. Yes, enti ahani the interview ni see. Onamo Johnson Aseidu Nketsia.
Is there no turning back?
Yeah, Mompire na.
Yeah. I did go away, young piebo. I never be an empire.
We cry the beer, they are come to never come. Na, me monitor pa, and I think say, Nyame Adom more ball mine.
Kaka.
Say, na me wo penny be office. Early morning, dinner, we program na. The tiho ena oshamo na me hu said they make bia no wontie so I joined him
to also watch
ena ye hwe mu wie no afi no busam say aha ekwan so yeah so it tells you that I mean edura no pass ya
yeah
a man for a very glued obia etie hwew titiru ne enioma pa odigu akwan mu so far no who say who kana or the ebemuno ama shubo bi aba nti ebo abaso
nyamene hene
Ivan dey say ono no
ono bia metia bia o so tia obi
generation we philosopher
nezo na say menim there's a certain guy was sunyan they say anya polytechnic bia technical university right
yeah.
As our level 300 or so, yeah. As a minimum, so monitor my status. Thursday, so Wednesday, no, we are one, a quabay, me van said 3 when I'm in post to the next day fly, and I know I send you a message. It's innocent not coming tomorrow. Now, I said, I fly and one I am, mammy. Just say, one monitor my status, it's
important. He has really much to give.
Exactly. Sure.
And he's always learning a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes yeah, I say, am I coming to the lecture room or I'm also coming to lecture? So I mean, I'm manager. the commentary.
Sure.
He has a lot to offer.
Exactly. All right. And see, and top person, I'm sure say, you did cabo bisua mao and ra you follow Supreme Court process. Vincent Asefua, honorable candidate. Okay, honorable candidate.
Supposedly.
Or the President Mahama Court to say process na petition no buy ya or start to say obetimi ede apam Chief Justice no Supreme Court and stop President Mahama from sa constitutional instruments na say emra na wode be ye adwuma no o nsi ne kwan kra na wantoa so eno apa na ne ba kwa amanti na wo say omutu sheda omu wie ye na honorable Dominic Kanye no ya attorney general wa magana fati say process ne de enka de President Mahama and the Council of State any committee in and it is not going to affect it in any way. And I know the other baby and a process so air coso. I say after that in your say minority so I a press conference. Same your Makabi. I feel the honorable Afenya and minority leader saying or who President Mahama said or ye statesman because mainstream politics never cost to 2028 on Kobium. Enti ma oma NDC funny ideas and me distract governance no na oyi Chief Justice e say Ghana democracy innocence
yeah they can mention what here for and I benka say also no part the political discourse na yeah no yeah it's not just for politics of it keke na yeah but we are shaping the minds trying to educate people sabe bit me anti governance say in a contest a bit me a situated this country na yet me achieve the kind of dividend I as of mine ni na whole essence in say you bet me away economic freedom not just for no more but for young generation yet to come sabe ya o mine na mamu no e benya so mfaso amomo. But very often, all that surround upon our political landscape, now tear some of the conversation. People you have so much respect for, sometimes you draw back because you begin to ask yourself, so, oh my, you see a democracy, a fledgling democracy. You try to be able to reposition, you want to be globally, able to be competitive, a force to reckon with, if nothing at all, within the sub-region. And people who are leading the conversation, the bigger conversation, a driver policy, a shaping minds, and they dictate the pace of our politics. And sometimes when they speak, you find saying the intellectual weakness, the poverty of intellect that they live in their wake. And sometimes, are so shocking and so frightening. And what in China, as a young person, expecting certain things will go the way you expect them to go. Afenyo Markin MPP, chief, your friend saying, Chief Justice, this whole petition removal. In the first place, this is a political party, MP, no, as you president. Say the mandate our exercise in the petition, idea man or no, unconstitutional. And one breath, Ujina Court, on the second breath, the same political party is staging a press conference and saying a whole lot of stuff. The good question is, when did the MPP become the spokesperson for the Chief Justice? And again, Nipana President Mahama Baya were you mono, not just Chief Justice. Then saying you're gonna start stick ahead. There are several other individuals. So why don't you bundle all these people together and as I will speak for them or speak for them? Why Chief Justice? It means you have a peculiar interest. And the questioner now to a press conference and all cannot say. President Mahama per se or uniform or familiar person or a sympathizer of the NBC. So does it mean that Kufuor may not buy no a sympathizer of MPP? You see, these are people they just talk cheaply, loosely without thinking because you're a very smart and a very sensible person and you're making such comments in public. You'll be guided by some of these things because are you saying Nipana Akufo didn't buy a man or MPP into what buy? Is she a sympathizer of the MPP? Is the reason why you are fighting for her today? You see, this whole process, beginning with the court, it's a foolish undertaking, because the Constitution now frames, when they frame the Constitution, they realize in the exercise of their duty, at any point in time, anybody can go rogue. Rogue means you veer off. And I'm saying position now occupied a very sensitive, constitutional framers deliberately created a window. Say when such a situation arises, then a window is created for the removal of the Chief Justice. That power is not vested in the president. That is the first point that we need to make. the power to remove Chief Justice, to begin with, that power is not vested in the president. It is vested in the people of this country who feel dissatisfied. And I said they are in direct contravention. I will establish rules of engagement. Write a petition and send it to the president. The president becomes just a conveying belt. Or the petition you forward to Council of State to establish merit, credence, and as a value in this particular way. The president court because at that point my money here. Now say even that particular call was premature, even from the Chief Justice, because at the point president engaged Council of State, that particular process. My culture say no adverse funding at any point in time can be advanced against the Chief Justice. So at that point, you don't even need to hear her. But for the president to go ahead, now all man a crime man 10 days on far response. At that time, not sure the president himself has been kind enough to the woman, because I was against the fact that President Mano the opportunity to be heard at that point, because in young committee level at that point, the whole essence is young petition use a meaty threshold. Council of State is not, yes, it's not a discretionary something. That particular thing is a constitutional injunction on the president just to send a thing the Council of State. Council of State and your adjudication body, all that they are clothed with the power and they say, a meaty threshold, say, a fete. I bet me calling the petition at that point, no, and that's more established that then we go to a committee level where a committee in that panel is an adjudicatory panel. At that point, the woman must be heard because the principles of natural justice actually say the accused must be heard, and at that point, constitutional crime insists at that point the Chief Justice must be heard either in person or through her counsel. It's explicitly clear in the Constitution. And we are MP. Now you say you are just clutching at straws. Not a party now lose badly. They have bad faith. People don't believe in them. They think that the numbers they have in parliament is so useless that they can't use it to advance any conversation. All that you need to do is to shout aloud so that your voices will be heard. So we had the MPP after the elections now. And they go there to stage press conference. Others in fear no more do her. We fear no more do her. Abrante yes no more do the fear like solidarity that is what they are doing because they have no relevance in this modern political dispensation. So they're just clutching at straws, fixating on irrelevant issues just to be relevant. It's the reason why you see all this thing, because in the first place, this whole court proceeding is a foolish undertaking. It doesn't make sense because constitution processes that must be followed in case we want to remove the Chief Justice. President Muhammad Nasari also Chief Justice. Ghana in the petition and the president is going directly with the provisions. The constitution, that is what he's doing. And for me, he has been even kind by listening to the Chief Justice at the early stage. But our country at that early stage, in the process, it's not an adversarial process. Anything can be advanced against Chief Justice. You need to hear her voice. You establish a credence. We now move to next stage. At that point, we can sit and then today, after your marking of all people on the MPP sit behind cameras. And they try to portray, say, they care so much about Ghana to the extent, say, so on one moment, Ghana will break. And I'm saying, say, these are a bunch of jokers who should never be taken serious. Because we were in this country when series barrages of foolish decisions, barrages of foolish executive decisions, and the consequences in here so overriding and so overreaching. Say, baby, Ghana generally. When the president was taking these decisions, where were they? We were out there on the street on a daily basis. Some of us were deemed enemies of the state. Almost anti-government, your friends say, enthusiasts. Always on TV. Naysayers. President Akufo-Addo say Sambala to say exactly. All sort of unholy descriptions were attributed to us because we wanted them to do things right. These were the very people who were leading this country on a foolish course. Today, all of a sudden, after you have been embarrassed so badly, you turn around, come and tell us that you care so much about Ghana. Did you care about Ghana at the time? Ghana seek $58 million. We sat here, we told you that was a foolish enterprise. Don't push our money in. They went ahead and $58 million in their court. Few months after losing the election, you are trying to portray, say, you care so much, you love so. I think you see, these are bunch of loose cannons hanging on politics. We should forget about them. All that they are trying to do is to sway the cause, shift focus, shift attention on them, so that they become relevant in this political space. I think government must remain resolute and absolute, because me, I am very much, and Ramans, your friend is Musa Dankwa, team, yes, research. And this research is countrywide research, nationwide. And question is, beside Ghana for the removal of, go and look at the results. 52% of Ghanaians want the Chief Justice out. So if you're a reasonable person and you have respect for the people of this country, you don't wait to go through this embarrassment. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jumama. Oh yeah, Jumama CTV. Who do our workers and why listeners in Asia Power? You don't go where you are not needed. Me, that is who I am. I don't go where I am not needed or wanted. I won't go. So as a Chief Justice, the people want you out. Petitions have been written. These people post now pointed to the fact that people don't want you. At the end of the day, no, as a sign of respect, you just bow down and go. You just bow. You can't fight this thing when the people don't want you. You understand? And you see, people know it is at the back of series of improprieties. Decisions are also Chief Justice unilaterally to make panel or say you were free but open case. We saw what happened at the Supreme Court, and several of that. I have a friend who is a judge, a big man. He himself want this woman out. A judge, we did the judicial nuclear. A lot of them don't like you. Very unpopular. And I said this is not the first time I buy about two different Chief Justice. President Mahama by Mel's by. Sana George na wood na time so yeah. What is so because you know. Na maami ba na what is so because obi obi. But I would did near my why. Na kwan am the judicial na so unpopular. You see, if nothing at all this particular way you find saying survey ya babontin aye enough testament we will be reasonable now we want respect for the people of this country. I say if majority of the people, if this what they are saying, I buy out, you go away. But where is this whole hanging on, and what is the particular interest of the MPP as a political party? Is it the case that the woman is there to protect them? Is it the reason why they are doing everything to ensure that she doesn't go? Because for me, she's not the only person who has been affected, even though her position is a bit way, But there are several other individuals, President Mahama Baye, what terminated on my appointment. And why are they not doing press conference? Why are they not fighting for those people? Are they not Ghanaians? So why this particular one? So you see, I think that this is a political party that has lost so badly. They've lost faith. Ghana folk need respect for them, and they're just trying to be relevant. So they are just hanging on anything that comes their way. And in the coming days, trust me, a lot of these things will be coming up. And Ghanaians should stay focused. I'm urging President Mahama say he should stay in line with this particular petition. Every single of it, if there is merit in it, this woman must go. Cleansing this state institution to build trust once again.
Okay.
Yes, Sam, I'm coming to your show. Please, what surprises should we expect? If I tell you about the surprises to expect, will it be a surprise?
A night of music and fashion. Eat good food and digest with laughter. KSM Masterpiece. Old age is a BITC. Live at the Kempinski Hotel on Easter Saturday, 19th of April. Talal, Lexi, Chemical, and Viana. Buy your tickets now at ksmlive.com.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on the 19th, man. Because especially you men, I want to do a tete-a-tete with you men, man. Because I wanted to discuss some very important issues like, you know who the Supreme Commander is? Others call him the Commander-in-Chief.
KSM is crazy. Buy your tickets now at ksmlive.com.
Meda se wa ma mesima na metwa me ho abasisi a brali so yankwe na la wusi apini
kese edu ba bia na oman ne mu nsem no senye oman ho do na sebi ebema ye nya abotre se de abotre dwa aboa tatia ne ho ne nsu a ne mani bi ho a na on say oba oye ashawuni ba ontu owari nefu
okay
what you say na se ye dwen oman ho ni ahwe ne nkan ko ne nimpuntu a MPP ni ye the last person also obi tufu MPP ni say you say obi MPP ni na ono ekotu John Mahama abanfo and say government of Ghana we hu say bibi kochew no wokoka ono the last person we say obi na no e de ne sia biasa nwotwe eka bi it's just sometimes so nauseating to the point say according to say womaye Nicodemus say say yawo omo foforo entino nia Ghana for kra remfie no omo pese omo force ma ye refi okay MPP ni to Ghana for any Ghana mine sebi ya banfo MPP ni no I mean about sometimes I said nipa oh you see this whole thing about the omo ye ni nyina no
yeah
ade ba kope 8 years under that rule of Akufo-Addo ne Bawumia no it was nothing democratic.
Yeah,
they only created what we call a syndicate of criminals, and it was a syndicate. Chief Justice Kahon, a lawyer for Kahon, a judge for Kahon. Now Akufo-Addo sitting in that office, no, as president, no, decided say me make sure say me ye friend saying or mine in such a way say simple me nya mampani a metimi control mine from ifie. Na John Mahama de san say no ohoro nanim kosoro ntino oba ye no wahwe na oye hwehan because the na Akufo-Addo ye no na the plan is say e was say or hand it over to Bawumia so the be ya say Bawumia mpo e president a or your president or no Akufo-Addo na controlling no and unfortunately no John Mahama enya tumi ebedi mampani and sinto a war system ni mu no eno na odi board ru a Yakopon ye na dum a Ghana fo su gina so e ka say car no asai na wo su be overhauling dia and e be ma tumi amwa ba be overhauling ne brofo ba ko any reset and we say okay to reset no it means say enyoma dada ni nyina ye den atwam say no ye ba be ye abode foforo ben election year John Mahama win ye Ghana ni bia say it is the second independence of this country because and the Akufo-Addo no na slave masters ne kura pa no ya brofo no na omo ntete ye nte se de na Akufo-Addo a ono ka brofo a na broni abusa de pardon Akufo-Addo slange president
why they observe there
pardon
cancer the hwinim to
otimi kasana se broni na ono no
e dey the brofo ba
broni bra probusa say pardon because what brofo ne ho ama sebi antelope crowd otimi ka anchela
what dey o
etino baby ana yakoduru no na Akufo-Addo was even misbehaving more than the colonial masters. Ana yaji efa hodi. Yaji efa hodi no. Kana fo nyina sabi. Petition no kura nwa say miensa. It's because of some of yeah, we were too lazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I have a petition very ready to present to the president about the dismissal of the Chief Justice. And I have never even used the word Chief Justice because there is nothing justice about that institution. There is nothing. What is the meaning of justice? Peri yo anyhow. In the missing a year, you say, me, yawo me birth certificate, no. Yawo me organ honey, a birth certificate, no. Birth certificate, no. So me free India, and I'm a bag ha, and I me nyimu ye, and I'm a wo ya. I was here trust me free India,
yeah,
and I'm a buy any
yawo me waha.
It's your friend, Rashid Kapon. Me boy.
Edi apedo no.
Edi apedo. Na Rashid Kapon, yatro, ni yatro, nationality Indian. Ye we are ni abetro, ni maami din, ni papa din. Wo si enu ntimi nkyere se me ye Ghana ni ana me nya Ghana ni.
Yeah.
Wey, what no what me patron say, ni maami ni papa twa the school fees. Torkono ni papa, no ye adwuma wo, ye friend saying, Kofo Dua secondary technical. Oko wi ade ne pam no. Wey papa wey, ne ba wey, krono a obo ya ma ye twia. Papa yi so ka ma ye pam ni kwatena fia, ene wawu, aja Abraham, wawu. Ye friend Abraham Kofi Saki. Ne mano, nyina mini momo, omu nyina Ruby nom ne, Ben nom ne, mini momo. I know them. Oh, and we are see when Obianti Island mu. And your connections with the MPP, everyone knows. Who doesn't know Torkono is MPP? Who doesn't know?
Oh, who them so MPP?
Why MPP ni? Who cares when MPP ni kuampo no beyaka?
Hey, now some of them mean so MPP.
Why MPP ni papa?
So Chief Justice. Ne ye na be man kwafo aka se bi o ye
MPP. Ne ye no, why just say why jealous of say why a party member. Why a party member? And who play the role as a women organizer. And to that syndicate now, we create here to loot this state, you know. She was part of that syndicate. Judiciary will be any. Just say, I'm up for an ultimate trash here. Oma G, you say, okay, this is Chief Justice, what but mine? Now, what would I be sabi? I was at or your gas.
Yeah.
No painting and meeting. And you know, Omo a certain very primitive mentality. Once you be born NDC so, and you be and I was see making sure say, yeah, na they destroy NDC. Sa adwem fi tantan no enu ti na yedi nipa miensa eti akwa akosisi judiciary wa Supreme Court wo no we kona nipa miensa tisisi wo no me sanka me ba be man pani dako me de grade abekwa kodua yam amele no look sadie na si in a democracy ana
David
esi in a military junta
yeah
who wa ku for the wakum nipa nwoche in a democracy, you didn't find the need to put their heads at the Supreme Court. It's something that I'm calling on the NDC. Omuntu sa nipa miensa ni tino, sa nipa miensa ni tino omudi nkwasi asam de ti, sa judiciary ni mu no. Sa nipa miensa no, oya ya odim, at some point, opese okra kosua law. Wa wodi wa adwen ekosua mra na da ache wodi aba obra na wodi aboa nkofo ama omo so abra abo aye beta no na ebusa o say na wona na bi ye lawyer na wo fa bi ye lawyer na wo papa bi ye lawyer na uko interview na ebusa sa kwasi asem we nyina eduru maybe ma so for yakufu me chena bo so sa as a Chief Justice say adan ya wonte ase say a lawyer for ne do so organ na adodo adan mu pacho lord ye boma lord ye boma and I'm going to tell you na omama ehon mako to say MPP dia Oko Ghana Bar Association, such stupid association, very useless association. Look at the presidents of the Ghana Bar Association and look at their political inclination. When you MPP here, you don't matter.
Okay.
ATBB Biana Koya centralized in a certain, you say, yeah, MPP for, where would you pass the MPP lawyer? MPP lawyer be a bon, onimumra, onim judge. Onimumra, onim judge. Because Obekwa Kone judge at Nasia catching some MPP ni, it's near the Assembly man. And this lawyer, you have to be an extra sharp, brilliant student to pass. When you my MPP for, I did DNDC for our law school, I will Ghana. Mammy way, one and in charge of your friend is a Ghana law report. Now, I want to be the year, I could follow the dear law report to me, it's an editor or editing newspaper. Not what the front page about. I need the open editor anymore. I don't know how does that make a Kufado a brilliant lawyer without a certificate. Ni abadi ni so obey your lawyer wo Ghana hey. Again na e wo Ghana ha bet me akere say was so a human rights lawyer no. Again na akere say he was a human rights activist. Mo person mo destroy a democracy no. Under the cloak of a certain your friend is saying me chief justice and I mean I'm here we Obana yam pamono.
All right.
What because here Adia Ghana phone time focus on. Who is me? What do me call quarter frame a member? Who do you mean? Me men conco general moving can't me say me a crown for a gram in the background where we escape. A two pound my judgment to be a warrior CBR young family conco Guamicum for. Member. Me no money.
Okay.
The trust in the judiciary, and only the pivot around which democracy revolves.
Okay.
So me wo susuyepa say that be said my adwuma bi na bia esinto bia ba ho obi de makokota say wo say me ko. Not judge aka asem no
French name.
Na judge ono se me birth certificate. Etimi nkyere say me Ghana ni we we nipa. A me nko gyina na ni ma nka me say brenkyere me. Do you know the sanctity of that institution? They play the God in the lives of the Ghanaian.
Okay.
It is so 18 years from my Lord. But Sani Pano, if he becomes your Satan, why do you have to refer to him or her as your Lord? And okay. The media me who say, wait, or my penny way. Say, and come by and also constitution, no. Ebi a chapter ha ana article we ana clause say express o man pani uni say to me ni say otimi yes ade we ana waye used to will come and say man pani other now person we are lawless knowing what they have done, knowing how they have just impoverished the state by robbing from the coffers of the state what it belonged to the state, you know. And I could follow status or she said judge for or packing people for judge for you have go Supreme Court, you have go High Court, you have go Appeals Court, you have go your friend is saying circuit court. Circuit court. It is a NDC ni NDC by way upa mo fa sem court is here. Ye man 3 months. Omba Boscota say not to baby cry. And you know the reset agenda no maybe they me feel say the pivot now. Who here to reset a judiciary. Okay. And sana me parliament in assembly your man. Yes, parliament or Sinto baby. Executive Sinto ho. Ono kwa the affair was as into Sinto nyamai. But Sinto de a batani pa. But we no enye to say bia why mistake o. Wo mo bomu tirimu poso mbedi bone. Ombe ya dream. Ombe nioma ensem fata. Sani pa no mo ye ekuo no mo ayo madwe so mo bedi oman ne bone a that criminal syndicate, you know, you must make sure say kwa bia so no by any means necessary you o mfuro. Okay. Etidio we etrena de aka ya homa. Say mate say judicial secretary knows one why so resign. Yeah. Is it true?
Sa memete nenra.
What resign? Omo resign. Na papa ko tena ho. Na reset agenda no. Yentimi hwe kwan a ebetimi afa so a ye be reset ya magana fo anya institution ni mu gidie se na obi de list wo kokota obetimi appear before court knowing say
obenya justice
papa and you say obi di me court with the threats and maybe NPP need to make a say onya ya court because of the coordinate threatening knowing say court wa ye bebu asem na gu so because onim judge no
okay
anasa remi ya sa ni judiciary way a okoye no upa akohwe a judge for no a lawyer for no mu di asem a no mu twa bayire ni konkontene la pay wa ne hwan no kohwe chambers ani free Akufo-Addo chambers Etino ya kaso bi a lawyer ni a onye superior to any human being
yeah
enu ti na me mbu Ghana ba so me mu omo papa me mu omo sebi se bi kura because on sa na say president Mahama bai o makotia no wo de ma ho busumi nsia enu ma na Akufo-Addo ya ne west o me sa aka ho asem and so Akufo-Addo ya mampani did you hear Ghana Bar Association speak to anything?
No.
Me ami nua ya a champion. One more wada. When name SK Buafuba. When name so NPP ni. Na ya tena ho na NDC force so muntimi ntiba association bi. Association ya force. Onu nti na me say constitution review ya ye beye no. Sa Ghana Bar Association ya ma no sam notoriety bi wo constitution no. Omo delete omo fa eraser.
MPP film.
And judgment taking Tungu baby cry. A very useless institution. More democracy, no. They are very selfish and self-centered. And the MPP for NA Omuku, and NDC for Ku, and Ghana Ku, Ghana Bar Association is a NPP for the tier. And it's a Christian Council, a NPP for the tier. And more NDC for no. If you want to have a friend and democracy play in a very nice manner, you have to bring about rivalry. Muntimukuo, the true Ghana Bar Association. No, be able to say where you are for Kona and Kwasiafoni. Separate yourselves from the chaff. Let the grains stand out. Okay. And the chaff also stand in the baby. You only know the baby. Moving forward, no. Yeah. Chief Justice Adiano, me say, and yet Constitution Ama a year. Like I don't hammer just by a stroke of a pen or try to cement papers with their left hand. Okay. One more man, when you say card there and could just Tom and win. I found your market to me the Asema bedroom neck and they are a money judgment. Ah, now LGBT and we here and collect to Mutu, yet you collect books about yet near the other two and him. It took more than about 1.5 years. Now I send it the whole. All because on person Akufo-Addo grab a sign. Yeah. Last minute Akufo-Addo no or bow out no. Afena, my village ya judgment no. Omwa. Okay. Or you're more partisan than a Juma I was say oye. Okay. On self attack. And the earlier they sack her, the better.
Me da say ni yankwamra na because ye tisimu no stopping no no stopping eti innocent we can over rap and I call we no so direct
yeah I think
no our press conference no who said you pia three for back for the trophy sa ko ba ko gina nana b eti na GFK ti na we so ti wo afeyo market wo na nkrofo be se 4 se 5 bi si edin ba ko tuntum bi na me so signal afeyo market say I won say TV3 microphone si pia to wa no musu pia to twene ye
we
video na ba stress say asem kura bi
we winning nyansa media jedra is one of the biggest platforms that we here party in opposition you need media. And Obi Mark, you are sending a message out there. Somebody is giving you coverage. Also, what I'm known through, and America say, you see, these people can never be taken serious. Yeah, the focus should be that. The focus should be straightforward.
Okay.
Ghana for our concerns about the judiciary. It's not about the Chief Justice. It is not about the individual judges. It is about the sanctity of the system. Because the whole essence of voting for John Mahama no stems from the fact that institutions have been compromised and that there is the need for us to enhance them. Akufo-Addo was a corrupt government. It gave birth to a lot of bad institutions in the other way. Time has come. As a clean corrupt government, what do you expect? Bad fruit and they give you birth to. So time has come for us to, clean these institutions. The young people will play their games and we know them, that is what they are good at. Clutching at straws. I think the president must remain resolute. Yeah, you see, baby, I don't know. First, and judiciary, that nonsense, this stage, it doesn't happen. Now, no, me tell we been a soft be say, and them ranting or mamba social media crown or more pema. Now, be fan work of a before. Let me say, generation you can't threaten people with this, Mame watano crown, I'm for you on the champion. Mame watana kasa. Mame watana kasa. I'm for you now. Yeah, so you see. Generation I woman ni pass and I'm a judge and I say no, it is about your deed, your obey. And I'm Ghana for only trust and confidence in these institutions. Yeah, and to me I'm built here because these are the foundational institutions of our democracy. Your coercion, your integration, everything are contingent on these institutions. So at any point in time, if they begin to veer off, we need to bring them in line. So President Mahama Efeli, now when Timian sanitizes these 6 institutions, Ghanaians will be very disappointed in him because it is Ghana versus these people. You promise the people this is what you're going to do. He should stay focused and do. Fortunately, you've been given petition. You're going by the petition. President Enyam for Memra. His actions, everything there is in line. Senka adia oye, and I was circumvent procedures. Our constitutional lady at her, and I oye near my basa na uyo position now raise concern and come here I will support you 100%. But as it stands now, they are motivated because they know what they've done. They know where the woman is coming from, and they know the kind of biases. And I zoom it back. They share the nonsense that has happened within our judiciary. Will you be happy? Rulings in us for our course. How offers or panel? There are people on the Supreme Court. A panel. You better 20 cry away for Udimum because Omunim said you are affiliated to this political party. There are people on the bench who have genuine concerns, and they even want this woman out. So you see, we need to build institutions that a bit gender trust. Confidence na man for nya hotoso say oh judiciary me the masem ko ha offer me way na at some point in time
judiciary etimetina bonten kwa predictive ruling
na chief justice
ade abeche pepe
chief justice to kwan say all the data say the bottom afenyo mark ni issue ya wo kan ye kanokre MPP ni ya oye failed parliamentary candidate such a landmark issue speaker versus your friend say way na wakotam na ba betena way so omo Kenyan sasema winti say or qualify. Who is talking about qualification? Yes. So I think that the posture, the tone, and then near my sabi and gender that trust. I mean, she need to have a sense of shame and resign at this point and go, so that you avoid all these things. Because this process, trust me, it will go through. No matter what happened, this process will go through. And evidence in our petition, a valid, a absolute. She will go home. What the MPP is doing cannot save her. I think we need to remain resolute, focused, and deliver Sabaya Ghana for what is happening. Yeah, with this Galamsey issue, I think one thing, yes, a very serious in our approach. You see, over the years, and the soldier for from rolling style up to now, we haven't been successful. So I think, in as much as I want us to take stringent measures, I am very front, I be dealing with these things. Individuals now they don't own sight, they don't own anything. These are people because of poverty, for the daily bread. So we are government, now your focus is on these people, you make a mistake. There are campaigns, they don't go into the site, they don't go. They are the concession owners. They are the people who are importing these Chinese from wherever they are to come and do some of these things. Government strategy must target these individuals and make sure, say, the owners of this site should be our prime target. You understand? Because the it's like washing your feet, abra wash your socks. And again, So what your mining regime over the years now tilted to favor foreigners rather than Ghanaians. Ghana have come to the realization say who only resources now you must benefit from it. Enti me ti oboase masase na manfo etu gold wo mi ehia me de medical amenya. What do you think the people will do? They will rise against you. So government must begin to review your mining regime no. Those laws now, say increase laws now in the past, be fana me royalty, be fana me mueno. Nyansa bia nim. We own the resources. We must have absolute control. Countries, no, mutimi yes, and Saudi Arabia, who say our oil, no, or taking idea, hiring American companies with services expertise in as a form. Because Saudi Arabia, yes, on the rig. The individuals there are Americans and UKs. Or the expertise, but yet they work for these people and they pay them at the end of the day. Why can't we go by the same model? So Ghana will get to the realization say and Yansun we need to. This Galam say thing I told you the last time say what you have to do is you see at every district, at every region. But Galam say no cost on. Form a state-owned company. Let the company employ young people. Government, because we are then nipa be two at the end of so you lead. So these people will be working for institution under government, highly regulated. They are going by the procedures. These people will not destroy our soil. By a time na ye jagu hokake na soja foko gumuram na ya pamwe go opam nipa no free wa. The following day we can go back. They will go back and occupy the place. And again, unemployment situation. We must also begin to look at it because it is one of the driving force. And one major idea about committee has to do with the deportation of these Chinese people who come here. For me, I think it is one of the most stupid policies if we are going to implement it. China near. As a country, we don't even prioritize our own people. We are putting premium on foreigners. And I was shocked to realize, Manasseh investigation in China for from 2001 to 2021. We can't do this. And our people are in prison. Our people are languishing in jail. These are people who bring high equipment to this country and they destroy soil and so forth. And I was say soldier for call, baby. Operation. Exactly.
Normal, I hear a whole community, Nipo over 10,000, Nigeria from Burkina Faso. Just all the African countries that you can think of.
Yes, and Chinese are there.
China for
exactly.
And Omoya counterfeit, Omoya drugs, just say.
You see, China an approach.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, serious.
Yes, and this other way has been there. We had dining as a phone. And then next year it's been there.
Yeah.
And that is the source of money among Fonya. So they are comfortable, and these people are doing some of these things. We turn around and pretend that we are fighting Galamsey. I think that we need to. You have to revise our methods. How a bit to deal with this frontally. And yes, sir, you never say just to satisfy the greed of some few individuals who want your friends at Neman or Muum. And unfortunately, when they do these things, they cannot cry Magana for home. I go into private pockets. China for your Muya Galam say, Omuya, they are able to smuggle this gold out of this country. I know that they know minor short changing. Now they are using Ghanaians to do some of these things. I know that they impoverish the people and they go away. So government need a grand policy approach. I bet immediate dealing with some of these things because Kasano Yadoso. And Ghanaians are very much concerned about this Galamsey men and Sedan as a forum. I think that the approach must be very holistic, must be robust, making sure say punishment I will for even foreigners who come here should be biting enough. Now so we are now with foreigner and I would necessarily no there. You are rather motivating them to come more. Because the worst that can happen is that we can't continue to do this. Or minor cannot continue to show weakness. So we are weak in the name of or because that is what Osafuma told us. I think we need to get serious as a country. I making sure say reset reset here, reset all facets. Now you create the maximum value out of our own natural resources. So be benefiting the people, but not benefiting other people as well. Now, I said that man way,
I think governments are taking
what government need to do is we need to nationalize that particular thing. Now you only and whatever services that we require to say to we can hire from anywhere in the world, and we must begin to renegotiate existing way, including Obuasi land now. Anglo Gold other people are taking, including recent deal Kufuor to sign this lithium deal. We must begin to own these things. When we own it, I think it will sad natural resources a bit bravo. A country like DR Congo, and right now because natural resources or more can even take care of the whole of Africa, but have poverty because some individuals, because of greed, want to take advantage and own everything. I think we need to rethink as an Africans. But
in fact, I am a depa. My boss send me one can't say me kind, but I didn't know what chrono. I think I was so be ultimately be now. Then you understand why people want justice at the judiciary. God never sleeps. That is why he sees all we do. But if he were ever to doze off, it is judges the people have no choice but to rely on for what is right or wrong. A judge who leaves the people doubting or confused may be fit to serve at the mortuary or some other businesses, but not an any court, let alone a Supreme Court.
Yes, yeah.
Ken Kwesi Shea Dakwa.
Quick one, yeah. That is a very powerful statement. And you see, now listen well, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. My Lord, the veil of reverence, according to the institution judiciary. Because those times, in the UK, settlements and on a court na yes nipa ni di asema ogina ohene na nan mu odi wia you can't even argue because power no derive directly from the king, so it assumes a king na atena. So that is the veil of reverence, and these people executed that mandate with perfection, absolute way unya ho asemenka. And that has been anything my Lord now has been replaying in history up to now. It doesn't mean that we are Lord, we are not Lord, but Juma obeye. But we've gotten to a time Obi say, "Oh yeah, Lord, etia kondwem kwaji aponche de ninu akoto prison." And you sit here and we say because we are Supreme Court and can wasem. No. It can't happen. So I think that we are judge. You need to live it. I active value principle. You need to live according to it. And always, you must live to sustain that trust between you and the people. At any point in time, if that trust is not there, you need to resign and go. But unfortunately, now me Museveni in the video, African leader, or yare when you stroke on also to say the machine senachi. But yet he's still working as president.
I saw that video.
We don't want power to go. Black man will hang on to power, even Ukraina. You understand? So I think we sometimes say, let it go. Power, you won't die.
All right, Bradley Sewell.
Oba, you can galamsey who says, say that can be a future. But I did be a cosu, yes, in the say unima de cry, you can't intimate solve.
Okay.
Identifying a problem is almost
it
makes the problem half solved.
Sure.
Until identification you can't galamsey. Ubi wa bem na unima de a friend galamsey over then wako. What I say. And until I say the future me say abai any boys ni na nya de na edu ba bia o monka say ye ya ye bia ye mo me yemfa ye tusu ye titino na obi CID ni a otumi kwa aware na dwumantie o o kwa aware ma aware no eso atimi di investigate either bema na oba se bema eye CID ni no kwa aware a obi a o ko investigate oba se oba kwa aware a CID follow obitimi ko ye betwani o baabi enye se abetwa no hia no but just so that ebi a omunim se ebi abetwafo edi boni bi ewe kura bi ase emre bi sehwi ba ko bi si ho ema menka abusuafo ya omukuku akola bi ewi ase no investigation ne ko so ama sa abofra na omukun no CID ni ba kɔware ebusuani na ɔyɛ investigation ama yɛhu yɛ ekosi yɛ what you say aban ɛmɛn sɛbi ɔmo a ɔmo tu galamsey penifo sɛ wo ban nsu a ɛna wo sɛ ɔkɔtɔ bɔ wa
okay
the only reason why a obi yɛ Ghana ni a ɔbɛkɔ akɔsɛ nsu ɛyɛ because ehia
yeah
Ghana ni nhyɛda ɛnyɛ n'adwene sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔsɛe bibi nsuwa ne yɛkwaya bebrebe asɛe ne nyinaa ɛyɛ foreigners minima de kura ayɛhu ɛwɔ man wei mu a ɛno nti no yɛntimi nya yɛ mu gidie sɛ yɛhia foreigner ɛna ɛde atue gold ɛwɔ man wei because the last time I checked gold fields a ɔmo tu gold wɔ man wei mu no ɔmo mining activity bi ɔmo yɛ bi ɛyɛ earth moving bi ya no Ibrahim Mahama engineers and planners na ɛyɛ nti sɛ Ibrahim na etu gold no na owi a wɔde ama broni no na broni ne de kɛte wani wee bi te sɛ due less 5% ya ma wo mine na obetu gold ni free mu a etu bu sa ho sɛ
unyansa wɔ he
unyansa Nyankopɔn de ma wo a wɔsa de gold ne kan ho no
ɛwɔ he fa
yeah sir mine mini minor micro minority for minute minority for omo no akose nkofo bi achi da man 30 years na so
yeah
aban say me ne da man to nkwanta
ya pai
ai ni nyina go fields sa da man go fields aduma oye no Ibrahim ene etu ade ma da man go fields for enti no ubusa ho say say Ibrahim Mahama engineers and planners ene tu gold no the ma emrofo no na emrofo na yi emu 5%
e dey am mine no
na omatua Ibrahim Mahama na otu efoma gudie ma omo no
eka
omatua ono ne ka na enya mrofo no na etu gold no awon
de mo ma sisa gold ne de akọ
etibusa ho se ga na ni nyansa we
listen quick one do you know kwan ya ma China for more ye onko China ni former in Gina o Ghana for na ye adwuma
nyina so the contract ne be ma China
interchange ya wo krom ha nyina ye Ghana for okomoto we Ghana for de gu so broni China ni ba kopɛ
yes do you know the meaning o kire say o ahode a de ye adwuma no but adwene ne de ye adwuma no
ni bi
we dey adwene na de ye adwuma no Ibrahim Mahama company engineers and planners
omo
wono timi sisa Ghana fo na watwa wajibe samo mo twa ticket amo mo de o makoti na school mu wa brochire se mo nyire mo nsua de na mo mra meya adwuma o engineers and planners nipa 200 na o de o mko enti no the requisite knowledge a ye de to gold e wo Ghana ha no in fact our Africa no ya bona baso se obi bie ni wo ya Africa ni a owo saa company a etimi ya saa adwuma ni bi
I don't say South Africa for crime no.
Again, Ibrahim.
Yeah. Big consignment.
Mining companies say Liberia, Sierra Leone, there is no firm in this continent. It is a Ibrahim company.
Oh yeah, Jamama Niantino.
What I say? Sani Panano maybe. You say Wakwakoji bauxite. Concession Okotu. And no MPP for the Ghana for nyina kesetia asiye de Jimmy ne de concession ama Ibrahim Mahama sena oba yes bauxite trailers 40 at the mile say gia what the beden
tell me nim honim dio
entino onfanya hwe na mmom no engineers and planners wo nim dia omkofa Aseidu Cubic for adalfo a omo say there bi ye two bauxite na ye be smelting machines wo Ghana ha dia smelter no atimi ye alumina ne dia akoma vaako bibini no eye bawomia na ekufado no omo se da bi ye fa ma Ibrahim ye kwa kofa China for mo ma be China for no ba won timitu
amanti bi antu
oh bibini ye kaso agimi a eni gimi no e bo honta meanwhile engineers and planners ana Aseidu Cubic na yes adwuma na enko be kwa kofa Ghana fo adwuma nyina hini ne maami kromo ono ne maami kromo
yeah
oh so sometimes no utimu se ye ho abro se bibini benya de nka broni mfa ekufodo no strategy ni bi no akwa broni na oni broni no ato kese he me hye da de wa bedi animu ni ya gi wadi ya di wudi ya ebeka se broni na etu na me no wa ba be che ne wa fikyire enu nti na covid ba ye na kufodo ni nyansan mu no no gucci fo na ye test ma ye hu se covid aba no gucci fo na ye nyuma ni nyina so so kwakofa ye fa ni sen frontiers e kwotena airport e mo mu gigi sika ewie o mu declare 17 million e ma Ghana just 1 million ohun bibi ni adwene enti no ye nipa ahoye awoyemu ye too envious of each other obi nim say ukiki ye fe pa o kan say oba ukiki ye fe ya we kiki we dey say nya papa me wo papa wo obekwa akofa ne dia ba no na ne nsa ba ko abu obi sha atare kra na efa yenka because ye di otan hunu otan ani aduro aseyemu diamond for the ya kan wono na wotu ade no enti don't you think say we say government tenase na ofre Ibrahim Mahama say woni engineer
company
ni din engineer o say
planner
engineers and planners momra momien tenase Ibrahim no na wotu gold man ko fo edeko no mama just
5%.
Ade na wuntu na o man ntimi benefit bi 50%. Now machine cost na nyoma boys abe for madwuma workers be no so mumfa 50%. Na boys o makwa gu galamsey piti mu nyina on sa boys
nka ya be for mu nyina
yes there so
na e bia ba bia o mu ye man na hodo no se ye de ahye wonsa una ye earth mover una wo earth moving equipment una wo the
jealousy na
it say no ye ma wo wakotu gold no gold bia obenya bia no aban regulate because say ya ti gold board no say boys na omo ne obeya adwuma no so munya gold bia ye ne omo be che omo benya ohamu chichemu say wo machine cost any wo expertise ye be tua say na o man na fade aka
simple
we eye nyansa eye common sense se broni China ni a wono na motom kankan ebeba be fa akọ
ye pe no chance ye nua bibini just abe dwuma me tiase
China ni na ba de ohia ni excavator no akọ ahemfo kra mu
omo do mo ye dey
China ni a wo di ohina temu a yo dati you dati ono a wakasa ne hu fi no ka kacha ohina so ohina ye dati na omo soso no kakra omo so bedie nti na wa ma China ni kwan ma na wuram akowura kwayem no wakosai kwaya no because oye no indiscriminately tese wo ye ade no to the point
say ya ne kuro
say ya emfa
ne ho nyo ne ye ne te ha
so the man say you man emfa ne ho so the sign of the good you man emfa ne ho it is how the ade ma Ibrahim kura na see Ibrahim unko abi kura wontimi nya adwuma ni nti no tete nkwala na fe ba bibia ye tu gold bia no se ne be ya ye nsensuo no ye be pese wo be ko ho na wo be kire o mo se ne ye be si fa ye no ebi kura mpo a schools na wo Ghana ha ni expertise o betimi a kire ne yi a ye be sere wo se ne wo ye ne daa no obi otimi bo ni pa 200 no
Omo
go in batches so ebi a make any or fe ni pa 1500 adwuma but they will be going in batches we na we aba no ma be omo ye adwuma na we mu so ko enti eneme no ka say ne staff a omo ye adwuma no the expertise they have no ebi ni Africa ha na so no MPP ni nim say Ibrahim nya NDC
fu enya oye joma me
ye mo ni su jetira mo ba 8 years na mo ba ye na mo say mo mani into box site no box site na ku for do dia two plates so atwitwawe mo dwene ni so ate say ntatira ba dwene na ntatira ba krampo ni me de tutu ho a ase me ya kase mo ni nyansa because Bible mu say
kwa abotati
anche ko so nyansa ase anoma ba ni mo kese no ade do mo tirim no eso too much Pentium M na twem say no ye ko terabytes any gigabytes ati ye be sere mo
okay
baby adro no dalam say na to be twa we must bring on board those who have the expertise
okay
ebi krampa na Ibrahim wo a certain module bi ana say the company dey wo module bi a omu use o kai say maybe na joma ma ye campaign no obo ba ku bi so Oboso say you will be a friend in leash.
Yeah.
I will be two and show be to set down.
I go for quentin ko baby ya.
Down so to me no miensa.
Yeah.
Enti we are nsuo na aye fi no. Ubetimi asa wash nsuo no amana sa akogu another dam. Na wasa ba you su dia aye adwuma no we are asa aye fi no wa wash. Don't you think it's something that is genius?
Yeah.
I think say moving forward no. Say you come on more free kwa ye ni no. You need kind of strategy.
Okay.
Engineers and planners for Ghana here. Ibrahim, a be our friend and enquire. John Muhammad, your friend at the court. One one enemy, on calling saying. The second in that tension, the cushion and our point. The woman answer. The boy.
Yeah.
Go face you may only two. Anglo good crab come no need to. Go to be a two Ghana, you don't need to. Tiade na ye to go no na dey ma broni ama ono repatriate
no dey
akọ from no ono ma oketu enu abi say Ibrahim anya ne sika e ye go no okotu ye no ono anya ne sika ne machine sika no
ne machine sika
eti no be ne machine sika ama no broni no a wonya gold no say otu da man na say bi Ghana out of 100% bi a say me ne me workers ya fa 50 o man ni 50 a ye nya mfa so
na 5% ni 50 na say
ye na 20 a che 50 a be ka dey
yeah
emwa
ebeboa ye
eti mesre o me mfa sabi o tiny sa no manuma ni nyina ntonchen na ye ya ebe benefit e bi kura me kan afa no market dey be sorry oba ba na ni the constituency for here adwuma ye o timi kan chem se galamsey for ni constituency se ne constituency for no any MPP for a constituency for no nyina ye for bia ba adwuma na say estin cubit for a hini box site ye too gold ye too diamond ye too ha enye papa nchen say yakofa broni
China niama
go feel so yenka so monko new monto yenka so monko but emfaso a omde ma oman no
shadodo na 5% ye
so say there be 100% busa sami jamfi ona is order go border no
wrap up on it
enti say no new month for to go da omo wetimi dia omo go da kwa na okay I say this here the fact gold board mu so wetimi dia akode a don't you think say e betimi ama enkofo akoton omo gold ama
new month for ana I think a question kase pe we say o me
address no na ye homegrown solution
okay
why e be fa so aye betimi I think on our feet and mine our gold first na any machinery any equipment any expertise say you will be
yeah
you will nua o to be and necessary o yemi nua nti na me body ho da ru
yeah
where you will be so challenger body come rock show box site no rock show ontimi crown there ontimi two box site one head pan ontimi two any money bi o wa na me afama wa
we are then ya wan farmer okay
send back for you but the man no the amount but last but not the least let me hear guide for na say share obaya so what calls a when prison me nua Gregoria Foku intimi de na me na yi ntintia wo
ewo
hwe obi kan asema obi timi asu eya me follow me nua ba ko Ibrahim kwan a ye fa so a ye treaty prisoners obi o krampa ye na asema court e kwan a judge benya abotre
atie na
atimi adwanta tie nya ne nso no onya abotre obi akoma ni sika etini focus nyina ne se akwa we kwan bia so so different me makadida na me sa kabiem me metwa bribe ma judge da e free da me twa sa bribe no no me nu me hu no nipa na me ko twa bribe say ye mani ndi fo no odi fo eso me makuma mu no me hu say na me na ndi fo ba judge no a wo je bribe no yakopon enfa ne crazy e free sada no man respecting biem sika na wo je free me ho no me lawyer na de me call you lawyer no a very popular lawyer me money dey one na de me call say yen ko tua bribe yes asem we dey me different ye tua bribe no ma judge no wo ka ne crazy yakopon fa ne crazy me mu judge ni biem afei na metimi free judge ni anyhow na metimi man ye useless because me orders no tie
yeah I just can't
because I had the money to pay the sort of fridge crowd the freezer man so on turn am fancy now busa ho say sa nipa o tin sa wamu a we judge wa jisika wo de na kotomu no a wa sai na brabo no ebi a na odi bi mu wo wa jisika e de na kotomu wa ka pia ne de enti die enti na ni kwansi ya reset na afa mimi nya gidie wo judiciary nim se me di asem kwa ye be di ama me enya afa no ma ke nko na wo so di asem kwa na ye frɛ asem ne ne
ni abua ne
wa bra ye di ile bi asem abeto court edi fie sen
o man frempo
oh enti no ma me ne de se me ka se ye ka na asem aho ahwe be te se ye tan no me nya anya tan o me do me mind too much se me hu so obi mpel my way yi aho na I degenerate into a time because on my way no emu ofehwe oba ya se what to kwaya kwamanfo amanso a na wo hwe o my Ghana o ye too nice say you better allow for just partisan politics. Now you dey say o man because of some parochial interests, because of obi bibi a wo penya obi hu a wo penya obi mu a person dey boa obi for favors ne nyoma ebi kura wo nim say nka bi a wo chief justice kura nka bi enru so but because Ekufuor na dey wa ba betina ho ntino e wo say at all cost uye bibi na odi prison no wa bra o man no na asoma o man adwuma na wo ye o man we Ekufuor dia enye ne dia. Okay. A process.
Thank you.
No money go through. Me okay. Sebi. Me you just a commentator.
Yeah.
Ebi a media make cry do mama wuntie. But senko tie me a. Omun this hard no. Man respecting him biem. Sika na o free me ho no. Me lawyer na dey me call you.
Yeah.
Lawyer no a very popular lawyer me money dey. One na dey me call say yen ko tua bribe yes asem we dey me different. Ye tua bribe no ma judge no waka ne create na ko profo ne create ma mu judge ni biem afei na metimi free judge ni anyhow na metimi man ye useless because me orders no tie.
Yeah, I just can't
because I had the money to pay me start to fridge cry the freezer man
ni panko kura poma wo okwa retirement na bisansa brabo be na wabo. That is the thing. Omina be avenue a few people capitalized on Niamane no just to serve themselves. While majority of the people no continue to live in poverty. Yeah. That is the Ghana we are celebrating today. So I think that today should be a day a sober reflection. Now who say going forward, it's not going to be politics as usual. The narrative must change.
Okay.
Now the potential minor one, you making sure say you bet me leverage. Na ya my home the kind of way the new Ghana na you see because new Ghana resetting Ghana no and live in the rhetorics that we make, the political destiny that we make, but the commitment on our part as individuals are a bit me a project of mine. So independence, the last time I catch say it's good that President Mahama has slashed down on this excessive your friend is saying parading as for police for na soldier for na nyansa bia na school for na mewiem. It should be a day Ghana needs to have access to his Ghana flag. Now on wave as a reminder. Now yentime I wake that sense of nationalism and patriotism in Ghana because sadly no a diminish it is no more there. And the excessive partisan activism and I take it the center stage. There is nobody all rooting for Ghana. But this is the country so I think that the day is good. We celebrate for the sake of history, but it is a day as a year morning, a year sober reflection. Now you who said over the years. Ghana ni the last time I told you the desperation I don't know free this country at the carbon thing seeking greener pasture when potential and near my mukrum. Ye mineral regime and I know na meka ho asem ya oman ye too good ye bibia ye wo all that oman bia behia sebe ya obedi ye but unfortunately no arriving
now is the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana.